Hello, everybody. Yeah, layoffs. Hardest video I think I've ever had to make. Um, we have another round of HiRez layoffs. I think it's the biggest round of layoffs we've ever seen at the company. From my understanding, about 50 to 60 folk allegedly are gone, which is about 50% of the company's employees have been let go. Day or in the past day or so. Thursday, 6th of February. This is the third round of layoff in recent history, I guess. There were layoffs in October of 2024, which was smaller. That was when people like Anna and Tina were let go, Minos, stuff like that. And then previously in June of 2023, there were another 30 people let go. So yeah, it's a horrible, horrible day for everyone involved. And you'd have to guess a desperate attempt to keep the company going and afloat, given the financial situation. You just have to say that's what it is. It seems like they fucked it. The people in charge have fucked it. And it's normal people, normal folk who put their life into making a great game and a great esports product who pay the price. There have been rumors floating about. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you who are on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, will have seen a lot of doomy tweets from esports people. I think there was an expectation that, or a leak of some kind, that esports people were letting go, were being let go, sorry. The entire esports and production department, minus Hindu Man, from what I can see, seemed to be gone. So that's what the leaks were, but I don't think anybody really expected or guessed at the scope of what we were going to see today. Seems especially harsh after, these people have, I mean, you talk about the esports people, they poured their heart and soul into a Vegas event, which I think went about as well as you could have expected it to go. The Smite 2 launch goes about as well as you could have wished for. But clearly the ship hasn't been steered in the right direction by those in charge, and they must be hemorrhaging money, and so they've gone nuclear with a layoff of half of the company. It's fucked. It's, these people, I'm in a position where I know them, so it's a little bit personal. It means maybe I'm not quite unbiased in this situation, but these people, it seems like so many of the people who are being let go, worked so hard, put so much effort in. It was, at the Vegas event, for example, all the surplus, the extra staff were leaving hours before all of the HiRez production staff because they were in unions and they were working. They were like, okay, that's me done my 8 hours. That's as long as I'm allowed to work. And, the HiRez staff stay on for 3-4 more hours and, put on a good event. And it's just heartbreaking. I have been maintaining a Reddit thread of the people affected. The ones that I've seen that have been announced. We'll quickly go through them. Lermy Wormy, God Designer Balance, Ro, who's a designer, Trelly, and Gore, who are esports talent, JMac, who had moved from esports to community and social media, Vinny, an esports admin, Dandy, community, you'll see him on Titan Talks and things like that, Billy, who ran production for many events, Vegas among them, Agro, who we all know and love, designer, Smeek, previously known as Mifflin, was working in QA, Ramen, Smite Esports technical director, Doug, the Spectator, Rollycat, aka Taylor, marketing, Skeely Dawn, programmer, Cooper, esports manager, Jameson, production, Amanda / Velocimander, who worked in UI UX design, Cryptic, designer, Zayadin, another production member, Cicerath, a gameplay programmer, and Will Sherburn, who, yeah, I mean, I mean, I think the scope has shocked everybody. Again, there was rumors going around about esports and how it may not be continuing this year, but I don't think, I never got the impression that anyone suspected that this many people across this many disciplines at the company would be let go. Again, players were tweeting the last few days because they'd heard that esports would be affected and they felt the knock-on effect on themselves. I think maybe some esports people had an idea, and maybe people knew layoffs were coming, but I really don't think. I think everybody is shocked by the scale. I've never really been someone to doom Smite, I don't think. I think I've always tried to understand and tried to see the business case of what's going on. That's, incredibly difficult today. Feels like there's not much left. Look at the number of the most front-facing people in the company, the number of the people who you see doing things day to day, the number of, I would say great people who are gone. It's really hard to imagine how Smite 2 goes forward and sees great success from here. Half of the employees working on it, half of the throughput. You have to imagine that the biggest hope is some kind of buyout of the IP by another company with deep pockets, that sees the potential of Smite, the potential of the Smite community. Excuse me. Buys it out and it goes on. Maybe that's the goal. I don't know. I've also never really been one for fucking calling for people's heads, but fuck me, Stu and the board. They've got to bear responsibility for this shit. You're going to continually lay people off and continue to fuck it over and over and over again. How can you still be there? I really don't like to call for people's jobs, but how can he still be there? How can he still be running things? Don't know who else is involved at the top, but they're the ones who bear responsibility, and that's where change has to be for there to be real structural change at the company, for there to be real changes. You can't just, we'll trim the fat, we'll get rid of half of the people working on the game, that'll fix everything. I would be very surprised not to see some kind of leadership change. I don't see how things can go on as they are. So yeah, in terms of esports, we did get an announcement from Hindu. This was in the Esports Discord. I'll pull it up. I'll edit it in here, but essentially said, unfortunately, well, I'll just read it verbatim. Unfortunately, HiRez is restructuring and conducting layoffs today, which will affect teams throughout the studio, including esports. As changes within the company continue to unfold, we want to reaffirm our ongoing commitment to the future of competitive Smite 2. The structure of competition will evolve from what players and fans might have been accustomed to throughout Smite's history. Organized competitive play will remain a high priority, and cash prizing will be provided by HiRez. In the coming weeks, we'll provide further updates regarding planned competitions, including details on prize pools and formats. Additionally, community tournament organizers can expect the finalization of Diamond prize pool support, which will soon be made available to help sustain and expand competitive opportunities across multiple tiers of play. We appreciate your contributions. Smite 2 Competitive wouldn't be what it is without you. We also appreciate your continued support during this challenging time and look forward to sharing more details too. So, I mean, if you want to read between the lines there, money still put up for competition, no more broadcast staff equals no more broadcast. So there will be no more official HiRez broadcast of tournaments, and they will instead rely on the community to produce any kind of broadcast or content via, community broadcast teams putting together maybe a spectator and a couple casters, or, existing players streaming their POVs to keep potential esports content going. So yeah, that seems to be where we're at. I mean, it goes without saying, but my heart goes out to everybody who's been laid off, rather, and those who need to keep working for a company who's betrayed their trust and hurt their friends. it's a horrible situation to be left in, to go on, you know. Obviously, it's you feel slightly better than the people who have been let go. You've still got a job, you've still got a salary. But those who are left are sat there working for an employer who's betrayed people around them who they know and love and get on with well and have spent years working with. It's just, and then, you know, you'll still see them on weekends, see how it affects them. I wouldn't be surprised at all if those who are left looking for other opportunities, and we'll see people who haven't been laid off leave, because yeah, it's difficult. It's an impossible position. They'll resent their employer. They'll resent the higher ups above them who have fucked it and fucked their friends. And how do you continue to give your all to a job where you're in that position? I'm sure a lot of you feel the same. Well, maybe those in the esports scene especially, but Smite's given me so much in my life, from competing in esports, meeting friends, you know, teaming with Prime, Nate, and Twig for all those years. So many amazing people I've met. I met my partner through Smite, and I met so many amazing people at HiRez who I had the fortune to work with during events, and it, you know, just so lame. It's not about me. It's about all of us. I don't want this to be the end. I'm sure a lot of you don't want this to be the end. But what else can it be? I'm hopeful. Am I hopeful? I'd like to be hopeful. But yeah, that's it for me. Yeah.